This is section 5.1 in your book on quadratics. We have our vocab term. The first one is quadratic, and we're looking at the equation that says f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. This is in vertex form, and for today's lesson we're going to focus mostly or only on vertex form. A parabola is the U-shape that a quadratic graph makes. The vertex is hk, coming from this equation, just like an absolute value. You're picking out those two values that give you the vertex. And your axis of symmetry is the line that divides a parabola into two parts that are mirror images. For our very important concepts, we have that x equals h. This is the equation for the axis of symmetry. So when you're labeling it on your graph, you're going to label this dotted line shown here as x equals h, and h is the x value of your vertex. The y value of the vertex represents the maximum or minimum value of the graph. So here's a picture of everything we just talked about. We have this dotted line drawn in. X equals 2 is the axis of symmetry, because this point is 2, negative 2, so the x value is 2. And the minimum value of the graph is y equals negative 2. So here's the y value of your vertex, and that's the lowest point on your graph, so it's the minimum value. To find the y-intercept here, you're going to substitute 0 in for x in your equation. And that's what it says right here to find that y-intercept. So example for graphing. Graph the equation y equals x plus 3 squared minus 4 and state the following. You want to identify the vertex, axis of symmetry, find the y-intercepts, and then we'll graph it. So your vertex is negative 3, negative 4. Negative 3, negative 4, because we know that the original equation says x minus h, so this 3 is a negative 3. The axis of symmetry is x equals negative 3, because it's x equals the x value of your vertex. Your y-intercept, you're plugging in 0 into your equation, so you have y equals 0 plus 3 squared minus 4, and you get 5. So your y-intercept is 0, 5. And then you're going to go and plot them on your graph. So I have this dotted line here that represents the axis of symmetry at x equals negative 3. I have my vertex down here at negative 3, negative 4, and my y-intercept at 0, 5. The fourth step is to draw in the mirror point over the axis of symmetry. So I have this point at 0, 5, and I'm going to mirror it across the axis of symmetry. So I know it's 1, 2, 3 places away on the x-axis. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 places away on the x-axis, and I'm going to come out with negative 6, 5 as this point over here. And then you're going to draw your U-shape through it. Last, you want to state the domain and the range. Domain, again, is your x values. So here we have our x values go from negative infinity to infinity. And your range is your y values. Lowest y value is negative 4. Highest y value goes to infinity, so your range is negative 4 to infinity. Your minimum value is that negative 4, that lowest value of your range.